So in this example, we are going to learn about variables. So first off, I'm going to clear this and I'm going to create a new file over here. And we are going to call this variables.py, as you can see. Now I'll close this. So you saw me do something like print, and inside print, I had my name over here, Kenneth. Now, this is what you see me do, printing out statements like this. Now, what if there's a better way of doing it? And I'm saying better because we are going to use variables to kind of implement this logic. So in order to do this, we know that Kenneth is my name. So what I can do is I can put out the name and pass in Kenneth over here. And instead of printing Kenneth, as you saw me do the first time, I'm going to print out name. So what we have here is name is now a variable. And if I should run this, so first of all, let me clear this up over here. If I should run this, I'm still going to have Kenneth over here. So what's happening here is this variable name is kind of storing Kenneth inside it. Okay, so anytime we see Kenneth or anytime we see name in our program, then clearly we are referring to as Kenneth. So that brings us to the definition of what a variable is. And I'm going to put it out over here. So I'm going to put out a comment. So a variable is a container or placeholder for data. So this is a very simple but descriptive definition of what a variable is. We can see that a variable is a container or placeholder for data. And that's essentially what you have. This is the data, Kenneth, and it is being stored, or this is the container that is holding it or carrying it. And if we should print it out, we are going to see this. Now, as far as variables are concerned, there are two keywords over here. It is a container and it has to store data. Later on, we are going to move on into what data is and the various data types. But then let's concentrate on variables. Now, as far as variables are concerned, there are some kind of rules or naming conventions that must be followed as far as naming variables are concerned. Now, you are at liberty to do anything, but then it is proper you follow some of these naming conventions so that it kind of make your work very easy. So these are some of the few naming conventions you can follow when naming variables. So I'll put this out in the comments. So rules for naming variables. And rule number 1 is the name must be meaningful and descriptive. So variable names must be meaningful and descriptive. And this is a perfect example. So here I have name and the name is Kenneth. So clearly anytime I see name, I know it is Kenneth. I can also have age, and age will be equal to 26. So clearly these are very meaningful and descriptive names I'm choosing for my variable. Now the second one, which is very important, is variables in Python, okay, or as far as the names are concerned, are case sensitive. So what this means is if I have age over here and I come and write capital H and do, let's say 26, or let's say 30, let me say 20. As far as these two variables are concerned, age with a small letter a and age with a capital letter A, they are two different variables altogether. So they are case sensitive. So the next rule is the name cannot contain space or hyphen. So we cannot have a name like, so for instance, if we are to say first name, we cannot do first name is equal to and come and type in here Kenneth. This is not going to work, okay? Because per this rule, the name cannot contain a space or hyphen. So clearly you can see that we get some kind of notification that yes, we have some error over here. So this is for the space, and we can also do hyphen like this. We are still going to get error. So as you can see, there's some kind of red underlining over here. So in place of this, we can say we can use an underscore. We can use the underscore symbol in place of a hyphen or space. So that's going to be this. So this is going to be an underscore, and this is going to be accepted as far as names or naming of variables are concerned. The next one I would also want to talk about is we can use the camel case notation as far as naming of variables are concerned. So clearly, if I'm to say last name, I can do last and name, and I'm going to put out my last name over here, Bruni. So clearly, this is a camel case notation. As far as the camel case notation is concerned, the first letter of the first word is going to be a small letter, and the first letter of any other word is going to be a capital letter. So that's what we have over here. So we have last with L small letter, and we are going to have name with a bigger letter. So that's what we have over here. We cannot start the name of a variable with a number. Okay, we cannot start the name of a variable with a number. So for instance, let's say we are doing some kind of logical operation, and we cannot say number 1 is equal to 20. So you cannot say number 1 is equal to 20. Clearly, you can see that we have some red underlining over here, which clearly shows us that yes, we are running into some problems. However, we can include a number, but then the number should be at the end, okay, or maybe somewhere in the middle, okay. But I don't want to have num3 by 1, okay. I think something like number 1 will kind of make sense, because then it will satisfy the name must be meaningful and descriptive over here. So that's with the names. Then last but not the least, we cannot use keywords in our names. So keywords are reserved words for the Python programming language for its construct. And bear in mind, these rules as stated over here kind of apply to a lot of programming languages. So for instance, keywords, you cannot use keywords for your variable names in any programming language. The keywords are reserved for the Python construct. That doesn't mean you cannot use keywords, but then you cannot use keywords for your names. So let's see what the keywords actually look like. So for instance, examples of keyword, you can have a word like for. For is a keyword, end is a keyword, return is a keyword, yield is a keyword, yield is a keyword, and many more. Now, as you can see, all the keywords, when you type them, they are colored blue. So as you can see, they are all colored blue for keyword. Now, in order to see or know all the keywords, now I'm going to jump a little bit ahead of what you are doing, because this may look a little bit advanced, but then we are going to come back to some of these things and know how we do this. So in order to see all the keywords in Python, I'm going to say from keyword, we are going to import the keyword list, KW list as word. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. There's a package in Python, a built-in package called keyword, and we are taking everything from keyword. We are importing a particular sub package, which is a keyword list, and we are saving it as a variable word. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm simply just going to print word over here. Sorry, I'm going to print word over here. Now, as far as any print statement is concerned, these are variables. I'm not printing anything, so we are only going to see the keyword being printed. So I'm going to clear this and run this program. And if I should run this, we are seeing all the keywords in Python. So for instance, we see false, we see none, we see true, we see for, like I showed you before. We have from, we have global, import, yield, and these are all the keywords. So we cannot use any of these words for our variable names.